Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be doing another unboxing. This is going to be a Gemini Jets unboxing, and it's been a while since we've done one of these. It's kind of a trend at the moment with models that they all come at once, and then I've got like 3 weeks of solid unboxings and then 3 weeks of nothing. But we do finally have these, and hopefully we'll also have an unboxing next week and hopefully the week after that as well. We'll just have to see which models come at what time. Before I get started, I do want to give a bit of an update to Dulles. As you can see, we're doing this unboxing on Dulles as usual. I haven't really made a ton of progress over the last month. I've had a very busy June, but that hasn't really affected kind of when I expected to have my first update out. I expect to have my first update out somewhere in the month of August. And Dulles is essentially pretty much there. We have the runway complete, as you can maybe see in the background there. We have the cargo gates, which you can catch a glimpse of there. All I have to do now is essentially just the grass and then the gate markings, which will be located all around here. The grass I'm going to get to last, just because that can get very messy, and so it's just best to do that last. The gate markings, on the other hand, I can't really do them yet. So I ordered a new terminal building for Dulles. It's a more realistic version, a more detailed version. I ordered that a couple months ago now. It was shipped to me on the 28th of May, which, yes, that's well over a month ago, and it's still not with me. I have the tracking and everything up, and currently it's at the distribution center in Chicago, Illinois, which is not even in the right country at the moment. The reason why I need the terminal to kind of complete the gate markings is because I don't want to kind of design all the gate markings, do them, and then realize they're actually in the slight wrong place at the terminal. In other words, I don't want to complete the gate markings, then get the terminal and realize the jet bridge won't reach the gates. So I'm waiting for the terminal building to arrive before I do the gate markings, and I had it all planned out that I knew I was going to be kind of occupied during the month of June. I thought it would get here in a month, so I originally thought I would have it by now, and then I could work through the month of July kind of getting everything ready, and then by August we can have, you know, the first Dulles update. If it comes within the next week or so, I still reckon August is going to be the month for the first update. But honestly, it's all in the hands of this terminal building, so don't think it's because I'm kind of slacking off. I literally just can't really progress at the moment unless I have this new terminal building. So yeah, hopefully that comes within the next couple weeks. As soon as that arrives, I am going to make an unboxing of that terminal building. That video will basically be almost like an update video on Dulles as well. So yeah, at the moment I'm still expecting the first update to be out in August 2021. That may have to possibly pushed into September. It all depends on when this terminal arrives. But apart from that, let's move on to this unboxing. So we have a box here from the Aircraft Model Store. I believe these are the Gemini Jets releases. I can't remember from which month, but without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and open this box. I don't think I will ever get tired of doing unboxing videos. These are probably one of my favorite videos to make. It's just such a relaxing video to make, and as well, it's like Christmas. Got some packaging in here, and then we have the models. Okay, so starting off for today's unboxing, we have one of the new Gemini Jets releases. This is kind of a new model for me. I think this is the smallest European regional aircraft I have at the moment, but we have the Gemini Jets British Airways Cityflyer Embraer 170. Again, just like usual, I'll kind of show them, I'll put them off to the side, and then we'll get to unboxing them in just a second. The second model we have, this isn't a new release, but we have a Gemini Jets Concorde. I'll explain more about this model in just a moment. And then finally, we have another new release from Gemini Jets. We have the Gemini Jets UPS MD-11. So I think we're going to start off today's unboxing with the Gemini Jets British Airways Cityflyer Embraer 170, or the E170. I know down here it says the ERJ 170, but these E-Jets shouldn't really be referred to as the ERJ. Technically, this would just be kind of recognized as an E170 and not an ERJ 170. This comes at a pretty interesting time because I recently flew Cityflyer. I released my video on that just over a week ago now. I flew the E190 as the E170 E170 is no longer in service. This retired this year at the start of 2021. These were introduced to the airline in 2009, and they had 6 of these before they retired them, as I said, at the start of this year. The box is the regular Gemini Jets box, nothing really to note. It's got the red, white and blue, of course, as any British Airways box goes. The only difference between the Gemini Jets boxes usually is this color down here. Depending on the airline, that color will change. But of course we have the clip art of the aircraft here, we have the type of aircraft and then the airline logo. The box is slightly damaged at the back. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's folded in at the back. But you know my motto, as long as the model inside is okay, I don't really care about the quality of the box. Okay, and with the box open, we can now reveal the model. We've got the plastic on the top there, and then we have the tiny E170 inside there. This isn't my first E170, but this is my first European E170. I have 3 other E170s in my collection. I have 1 Delta E170, and then I have 2 of the United E170s. But taking a closer look at this aircraft now, as you can see at the front here, we have the E-Jet nose, done pretty well by Gemini Jets. This is honestly a really good model from Gemini Jets. Gemini Jets rarely mess up the Embraers, the E-Jets I should say. The only flaw I think we've ever had with these models is the wing flex on the new livery United Embraer 175s. But honestly, they rarely mess up these models. It's pretty interesting to note that this, even though this is a newer release than the United E175, this doesn't have the wing flex, so obviously it's just the enhanced winglet version that has the wing flex problem. We have of course the cockpit up the front here. We have the forward landing gear, which is a entire black wheel there, which is pretty interesting. We then have the L1 door here with the BA kind of logo there, with the One World logo next to the door as well there. Then we have the British Airways titles with the crown emblem here. The relatively round windows of the E-Jet family. I always do like the design that they've kind of gone with a more rounded design than other kind of civilian aircraft. We then have the surprisingly tiny E-Jet engine there. We have the winglet back here of course, and then to the rear of the aircraft we have the rear door, the registration, which is Golf Lima Charlie Yankee Golf. All Cityflyer aircraft have the registration LCY and then a letter, because of course LCY is the code for London City Airport, which is where most of the E-Jets for, well, all of the Cityflyer aircraft are based. Then finally at the back of the aircraft here we have the tail here with the BA logo and the APU at the back there. And all in all, this is a really good model. They did also release this in 1-200 as well, and I do intend on getting that. I didn't get it as a pre-order. Luckily it is still in stock in a lot of places, and I do want to get it before it goes out of stock. Of course 1-200 aircraft, they are a lot more expensive, and so I wanted to make sure that I could afford all of the 1-400 planes that I wanted before I go on to ordering the 1-200 one. And with the Gemini Jets new releases coming out anytime this week, it might be even out just after this video comes out, I want to kind of save my money until I see what 1-400 aircraft are being released this week, and then I will see about getting that 1-200 Embraer 170. Next up, moving on to another model, we have the Gemini Jets Concorde. Now this one is probably going to surprise a lot of you. This isn't the newest release of the Concorde. Of course, I got that when that came out. So we have this. This is the Concorde I got a few months ago. This is the Bravo registration, BOA-B. I've got some dust on it as well, which is pretty good. This is the new release from Gemini Jets. We then have my older Gemini Jets one. This was released a while back. This is BOA-C. This is the flagship Concorde from British Airways. And as you know, I love the Concorde. The Concorde is one of my favorite aircraft, and I would love to collect every single Concorde that has ever been made. And I was looking through the aircraft model store and I saw this Concorde. This one is BOA-F. I had no idea that this was even made, let alone in stock at the aircraft model store. So I decided to get this. This is my third BA Concorde. As you can see, my fourth Concorde in total, including my Air France Concorde. I would love, maybe this might happen in the future, but I would love it if Gemini Jets released every Concorde ever made. Of course, there were 20 in total, 10 British, 10 French, 2 of each were prototypes, so 4 prototypes in total, and then 8 went to British Airways, 8 went to Air France, but only 7 went into service as they used one of those Concordes as a testbed aircraft. So there were only ever 7 Concordes that went into service with British Airways, despite British Airways actually owning 8. So this Concorde was one of the last ever built, and it was also the last Concorde to ever fly. In 2003, this took off from Heathrow for the last time, flew down over the Bay of Biscay around Spain, flew its last supersonic flight over the Bay of Biscay before then heading back up to the UK before landing in Bristol Filton, which is where all the British Concordes were built. And this aircraft made its final flight into Bristol in 2003 before then being stored there, and it's still there now in the museum. Now since 2003, and I think this is a crime against humanity, but Bristol Filton has been decommissioned as an airport. The runway will eventually, it may have even happened already, but the runway will be demolished and it'll essentially just become offices and warehouses. The Concorde, of course, will still remain there. However, people in the future, when they look around, they will wonder how they even got the Concorde in there. But yeah, honestly, I've talked enough. I'm going to open this model, and I won't go through this in too much detail, just because, of course, I've already got 2 of these and I've done an unboxing of a Concorde in the past. And apart from the registration, of course, these are all identical, but we have the 3rd British Airways Concorde joining my fleet. We have Golf Bravo Oscar Alpha Foxtrot. And honestly, to Gemini Jets, I say more power to you. Keep on releasing these planes. I will buy every single Concorde you make, so there we go. Of course, now we have my fleet of 3 British Airways Concordes. I can line them up like this, and would you look at that, that is a beautiful sight. Of course, they're all identical. The only difference is in the registration, but of course it's nice to have that difference. And I will keep on the hunt as well if I find any other Concordes that have been made that are different registrations to these 3, then of course I'm going to get them as well. I do have the 1-200 Concorde as well, which is an absolutely beautiful model, and as well I'm hoping that Gemini Jets just don't stick to these BA Concordes. They've released so many of these, as you can see, but the Air France Concorde, I really want one of them. I know I already have one, but it's an off-brand one, it's not a Gemini Jets one. I would love to get a 1-400 Gemini Jets mold Air France Concorde. I'd love the Pepsi livery Concorde in 1-400 scale. I want the Singapore livery, the half Singapore, half British Airways livery. Then I want the Negus livery, I want the Landor livery. Like, come on Gemini Jets, the prototype livery, those look so cool. But yeah, apart from that, we're gonna put these off to the side, and then we're gonna move on to our last aircraft. And finally, moving away from the UK for our last model towards the United States, we have the UPS MD-11. So this is not my first, but this is going to be my only MD-11 model. I know a lot of you have been asking me where my FedEx MD-11s went. If you don't know, I used to have 2 FedEx MD-11s, but those were non-Gemini Jets ones. I think they were Dragon Wings models from the 1990s. And honestly, they weren't very good. The wings were plastic, the tail was plastic, and so I just got rid of them. Well, I didn't get rid of them, I do have them. I have essentially my model boneyard where I keep all of my the models that I don't use. So I'm happy to at least have one proper MD-11 model. This is the Gemini Jets one, so this is going to be high quality, especially when compared to the Dragon Wings models. And you're probably wondering why I got this. Is the MD-11s, they're not officially being retired yet, but they are pretty much on the way out. And the reason for that is these do fly to Dulles. These fly quite rarely into Dulles, but they do fly into Dulles. The main UPS aircraft that flies into Dulles is the 767, this one here. You will see this pretty much every day of the year at Washington Dulles, but there's the odd day where they fly the MD-11 instead. In a non-pandemic year, they would fly this on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day into Washington Dulles. For spotters, it's pretty much UPS's Christmas present. But the reason why they operate those on those 2 specific days is because, of course, the cargo kind of heighten over Christmas. And over the coronavirus, they have been operating a few more of these to Dulles, so that's pretty cool to see. But as you can see, the UPS box, we have this odd color choice. Now I've seen this with the 747 that I have. They have this blue color scheme back here, which I still don't understand. I don't understand why they have this blue back here. Blue is nowhere in the UPS color scheme, so I don't know why that's there, but we have the black down here. Now that suits the UPS color scheme. We have this black down here, which suits the UPS kind of livery a lot better. We have the UPS logo, the type of aircraft, the Gemini Jets logo, and the clip art. And with that, we're gonna go ahead now and open the box. This is my first Gemini Jets MD-11, as I said, so this is going to be really interesting to have a look at this mold. And inside here we have the model itself. It's nice to have at least one proper MD-11 model in my collection, and one that's going to be used in Washington Dulles updates. So UPS currently operates 42 of these MD-11s. I don't know which one is the last one, but I know that somewhere in the UPS fleet is the last MD-11 ever built. There's a chance it could be this one, but I don't know for sure. I don't know what the registration of that last one is. But taking a look at this aircraft in detail, you can see starting off at the front here, we have the iconic cockpit windows of the MD-11. As you can see, they kind of bend down at the sides here, which looks really cool. We've got the L1 door here for the pilots. We have the forward landing gear, which is located kind of far back on the MD-11. And we have the main cargo door here with the worldwide services titles. Moving to the middle of the aircraft, and as you can see, rolling landing gear. We have the wings with the iconic winglets as well, with this small down piece here. We then have the wing engine here, and then to the back of the aircraft we have the tail, the iconic, I know everything's iconic on this aircraft, but we have the iconic MD-11 tail with the engine, the third engine on the tail here with this black and yellow kind of livery feature here, the registration, and then the UPS titles up there. But apart from that, that does conclude my unboxing of these three aircraft, three amazing models. I'll tell you what, Gemini Jets, they're doing pretty good at the moment, I'm not gonna lie, with this kind of broken model thing. There's a period of time where literally every month I would have at least one broken Gemini Jets model, but I have to say, you know, they're doing pretty good in the broken models department. And as well, you know, of course some of their molds still stink, but these three models are very good indeed. So apart from that, I want to thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.